The case for reparations. That's what I want to talk about right now. Welcome to Talk Boom. I'm your host, Cerebro. Reparations have been talked about for years and years and years and years. The demands for apologies and financial restitution are not new. During World War II, 20,000 Japanese Americans were placed in internment camps. This is not the first time, and it's probably not going to be the last time that something like this has happened. Will our state have to pay reparations to the thousands of men and women who've lost their jobs because they were told to stay home and close their businesses? In 1946, Congress created the Indian Claims Commission. It was a body designed to hear grievances and compensate tribes for lost territories. The Indians were promised a certain amount. However, the actual funds only averaged about $1,000 per person that were given to Native American ancestry. And most of the money was put into trust accounts held by the United States government, which was, of course, accused of mismanaging their trust fund. The United States has yet to tackle reparations for another glaring injustice: the enslavement of African Americans. This happened from the earliest days of colonization to the passage of the 13th Amendment in 1865, and the long period of economic inequality and civil rights violations that followed. Though the United States apologized for slavery and segregation in 2009, it has never ever issued a redress to the descendants of the enslaved people. Like I said before, this is not going to be the first time. It's not going to be the last time it's happened. The question I ask today, me being African American, is if I'm entitled to reparations from my ancestors. A lot of people would say, hell yeah, you're entitled to it. You should get reparations. Your ancestors. A lot of people would say no. I think, for me, I believe, is I'm not looking for reparations. I don't want reparations. I want fairness. Asking people to pay me money that had nothing to do with slavery, forced enslavement, confinement. I don't think that's fair. And I don't think that addresses the problem. Because let me tell you what happens. First of all, let's just say we did pass that. Some law was passed, and everyone who was supposed to get reparations were dealt out a check by the United States government. Uncle Sam himself signed those checks. Let's make it $20,000 a piece. Who'd get the money? First of all, it'd be held up in Congress because of the squabbling that would be going on. Because, as you know, politicians want to make sure that their districts, constituents, get their fair share, get their fair shake at the deal. They want their fair share because it makes them look good. So, all the people and groups who were promised reparations would have a special interest lawyer to represent them on the Hill in Congress. I want to make sure that all the African Americans in the world, well, at least in the United States of America, get reparations that they're due. I understand that. We want to make sure that all Indian tribes get reparations. I understand this. We want to make sure that all Asians get reparations due to us during the internment year for World War II. I understand that. Now, I'm using these voices, and it's not to be disrespectful, but it's to prove a point. I'm sure you understand that. Now you have people who are claiming that they have a certain percentage of either one, 3% Japanese, 4% black, 8% greedy. So who is supposed to get these checks and who is not supposed to get these checks? How far back does it go? How much money is it going to cost us? Let's just say we gave $20,000 to all African Americans, every single African American in the United States. You think that would sit well with Spanish Americans, white Americans? No. You think if you went to go get a job, let's just say you get $1,000 a month, you think that would sit well with any other non-black Americans? No. You go get a job, you probably wouldn't get the job because they would probably give the job to somebody who's more needy of that job because you're getting $1,000 a month. Think of the animosity that would cause. The vitriol, the hatred, the spew that reparations would cause. Is this what we want? You know, slavery, internment, was in a time that was considered a social norm. I didn't say it was right. I said it was a social norm. To the people of that state, it was acceptable. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941, what did you think was going to happen? What would you have done? I mean, You just killed more than 3,000 American sailors and soldiers, military people, kids, women. What would you have done in order to keep your people safe? You had no idea if they were sleeper cells. I don't know what I would have done, but I understand it. Slavery was something that happened hundreds of years ago. I don't think it's right. I don't condone it. I don't think most people would. There's some people who would, yeah. But those are the people, let's say, have the least amount of education. But in the 1800s, throughout time, the history of the world, there was slavery. And again, I'll say this again for those people who really don't understand what I'm saying. I don't think that was right. But it happened. It was a social norm. It was acceptable. We hate the history that we have. It's churns up like bad butter. We don't like this. We don't like talking about it, but unfortunately, every once in a while, it's got to be regurgitated. Like I said, I'm not in favor of reparations. I think at this point, I've been given a fair shot. Now, there are people out there who are racist. There are people out there who are bigots. But there's bigots, short men, women, short, fat, tall. There's racism, black, white, Japanese, Latino. There's hatred for inequality of wealth. None of that's ever going to change. It's $1 billion business. But I don't look at white people as I'm walking down the street and think they owe me anything. If anyone owes me anything, it's me. I owe myself a good life. And this is what I try to do. I try to make it so I live a good life. If I want it, I'll work for it. I don't need you to give it to me. Just don't stand in my way. I think that's fair. I don't think you have, or I don't believe that white people owe me a debt. I think we owe each other an opportunity and a chance to grow, to be better, to see exactly what we can be when we're unrestrained by simple little demands like this that do nothing more than get in the way of our own self-progress. That's my spiel. That's my stoop. That's my shtick. Folks, if you like my videos, please hit that little subscribe button. And if you happen to have some loose change floating around in the sofa, I'd appreciate it if you just click on that Patreon link and make a small little contribution. $1 is fine. I appreciate it. Helps me keep on with my videos. Folks, I'll say this in most of my videos. We are Americans. We've gone through trying times. We are the only country in the world who've gone through the things that we have gone through. Racism, bigotry, depression. Oh, we've gone through a gambit of different bad times. And you know what? We're still number one. We're still the smartest people on the planet. So I would hope that we continue to grow. Find love in your heart. You don't have to forgive. Just don't hold a grudge. Thanks for listening to Talk Boom. I'm your host, Cerebro, and I'm out.